Welcome back, guys. Improving my articulation. So let's dive into this. Those worth giving a shit about. Those with high impact and knowledge. These are the people you love to watch but don't follow in life. They have won your admiration several times but don't quite appeal to your inspirational ambition. They are too real, relatable, and rebellious. Take the example of stand-up comedians. Their status of being aspirational is ruined by their occasional self-depreciating honesty. They don't shy away from talking about the pathetic aspect of being human, struggling with them, and at the same time being a part of them. They are honest, and any person who talks honesty about themselves become human in your eyes. Even though they are famous, an example of this is Mike Tyson. I don't know why I keep going back to him. You aren't shocked when you find out that they may have abused drugs in their past or used to be self-destructive in many ways. You actually half expect them to have done those things and made many mistakes. There is an element of seeing them as people, unlike those perfect beings. Such people mock and criticize this perfect aspirational being from time to time by pointing out the obvious strangeness in the way they live, in how they advertise themselves, and the image they portray. In these moments, you too are capable to see the bullshit which is so far removed from the experience of normal people. But this clarity goes away in a few moments. It happens because clarity appeals to your reasoning, perfections appeal to your emotions. That is not that is why even though you may theoretically say it's all bullshit on a deeper emotional level, you desire and are affected by it nonetheless. From this broad group of people, you take entertainment as well as intellectual value. You admire them, not follow. Those definitely not worth giving a shit about. Those with high impact and perfection. There is advertising at its finest. PR firms create public persona and manage public perception to basically sell you the idea of perfect people. It's highly developed system involving psychological models and studies, manipulation of information, the creation of personas, the running of the campaign, planting new stories, scripted interview, perseveration of nature, social media utilization, analyzing the response of people to different behaviors and changing perception when required. Ever heard a famous person say in the middle of an interview, my publicist not gonna like me for saying this? Well, that's because that publicist is considering all of the above. These narratives are in place and you have been trained to react to them without thinking. So what happened now is anybody can pick up a narrative and as long as they follow the instruction you remain convinced that they are perfect. This is how this shit works. If you wanna get a following, and depending on whichever desire is dominated in you with respect to your age and maturity, you make your choice. For example, if you are a teenager or guy in your early 20s, single, virgin, the narrative which might appeal to you would be a guy with a great body and millions in bank account, on fast cars and big houses, has sex with beautiful models, and is always surrounded by gorgeous girls. There is no honesty, only advertisement at all the time to their target audience. They don't have to say they are perfect being, it's byproduct of the narrative. All they have to do is manage to be the center of everything you fantasize about and desire. For many young women, the narrative sold is a perfect beauty with encompasses luxury, elegance, and a lifestyle that doesn't make sense. But it has to not make sense, or else it won't be perfect in your eyes. With a flash of common sense, you could look at it and conclude that it's a narrative that cannot be translated into day-to-day reality. But you only focus on aspects that deal with desire, fantasies, and aspiration. You look to compare and feel bad. And this shit doesn't stop here. The narrative goes in all directions. The perfect happiness, the perfect success, the perfect wealth, the perfect intelligence, the perfect morality, the perfect leader, and on and on. Whatever it is, There are people selling perfection in that desire to that market. No wonder you hardly even look within. You are too busy looking outside for answer as to how you can be like them. The majority of this occur on the internet, which makes social media platform a cesspool of these narratives. This means the more you spend time on them, the more dishonesty you are exposed to. Basically, the more you time spend on this platform, the more likely you to dislike yourself, and you will tend to see yourself as unsuccessful. Be more and more unappreciative of what you have, and the people you have in your life become more be serious of material things. Wish to be someone you are not. Try to behave in ways that don't come naturally to you and wanted to look like someone else. All because some run of the mill person has the tools to manipulate data, eliminate aspect of being human and appear perfect to you. This can be found in many people on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and whatever social media apps there are and are yet to come. Then comes their upgrade, which is politician, movies and star, musicians, writer, emotional, motivational speaker, journalists, activists, models, millionaires, billionaires who are backed by an array of people, counselor, agents, publicists, managers, scriptwriter, public relation firms, marketing teams all work very hard to assure they remain fictional being to you. How to save yourself from this bullshit? Your choice lies between yourself and perfect people. You may find it laughable that perfect people is even an option. That's because you are thinking logically right now. Search your feeling. How many people hold an unquestionable place in your mind? Do you think they are best? Not the best at what they do, just the best he or she is the best. If you have ever said that about anybody, they are perfect being to you. They could be activist, journalist, late night show host, ex-president, current president, a spouse of presidents, prime minister, motivational speaker, public intellectual, celebrities, or billionaire philanthropist. In your mind, these are either perfect normal people or have perfect intelligence. They have written good books, say the right things, and care about the world. They exclude likability and have not an inch of human aspect which you sense with people around you. They are always positive and interviewed consistently profound and humble. It is almost as if the interview were scripted, or maybe they were just clever people who know what to say at the right time. They seem as if they are more evolved. After watching them, we feel as if we have been left behind and out to catch up with them, and the only way to do that is by following them. Here is what you do whenever you feel like doing that. Admire, never follow. Nobody can discredit their act of charity and positivity, but you have no idea who they are as a person. None. Except what is in their control and power to sell. Let's really compare the choice perfect people or self, which is the better authority to lead you. The situation with these perfect people, the situation with perfect people is they are possibly the most famous people in the world, and almost everybody around you love and follow them too. They exist on all social media platforms. They dominate in terms of number of followers. After seeing their large following, you find their narratives untrustworthy. After all, millions of people follow them. Millions of people aren't idiot. I too am not an idiot, so I will follow them too. When you come across people who try to expose these narratives and urge you to see these people as people, you tackle it brilliant, brilliantly by comparing the number of followers of the two. After all, popularity, money, and fame are the best metrics to determine rational thinking, right? All of them, all, all the most influential philosophers, thinkers, and writers were multimillionaires and look like model. Everybody knows this. Yes, this is sarcasm. They sell perfection, basically dreams. You look up to them and believe what makes them happy will make you happy. You rely on them for the solution to problems that have been created because of the perfect narrative they sell. I am not like them, I can't think like them, I don't look like them, I don't have what they have. From whatever they provide, which it is entertainment or information, deep down you know you watch them because of the aspirational element. The situation with yourself. The situation with yourself is it exists within you, not on social media. It is alone and underdeveloped and will take time and work to develop. If you develop and empower yourself, it will look out for you by providing the answer to your fantasies, desire, and confused wants. It will also render comparisons pointless as you won't be chasing after idea that makes other happy. You would be focused on making yourself satisfied, which is a highly introspective process and stress personal. After making the self your authority, the need to follow anybody will cease to exist completely. The aspirational aspect means going in the opposite direction from yourself. No wonder it requires persuasion with advertising. The rest is taken care of the narratives already created in the world, which makes you assume that these people are fucking superheroes. Just kill with the assumption, Matt. This whole game is just their advertisement and our stupid assumptions. Chapter 15. Don't suck up in a relationship. When you make love your authority. Now we are gonna talk about the most common way in which person give their authority to another person in love. For a lot of people, love is the idea that someone else will make you happier than yourself can. Right off the bat, that is a terrible idea. If both the parties believe that it will lead to the co-dependence, and if not one of the two does, it will lead to one becoming the other servant. When you are convinced that being with this person will make you happier, you suspend altogether the need of self-respect. That was your happiness index, but now this person is what brings you happiness. You have to understand where your self-respect comes from. Self-control has to kick the shit out of any tendencies in you that will stop you from living peacefully and performing at a gold medalist level that produce self-respect in you. Now suddenly you have met a person you think is the only source you need to be happy. So you start determining your work, ignoring your other priorities and make them the top one. It's understandable if it was like the only in the beginning you both were excited then, but if it has been years and you can't say no to them anymore. You fear that if you disappointed them, they will leave you. The only way to keep them is by doing whatever they wish to. Then you are royally fucking yourself. They are your authority and not in a cute way. This is, my friend, is a successful invasion of your nation. Your nation now works for them. If you don't get what I am talking about, read chapter 10. You are a nation. But you are trapped in a garbage relationship. There are many reasons why people get trapped in shitty relationship. Let's talk about them. You think that you will never find a person as good looking as them. You will never find a person as great at sex as they are. You will never be able to love somebody again. Nobody understands you better than them. If you are stuck in a shitty relationship and these are your reasons, then you need to hear some truth. First, these are highly over exaggerated assumptions to stop trying to predict the future. Unless you are 70 years old and have had all sorted of experience, you need to shut the fuck up. Every every person in a relationship thinks their partner is special. Wow. According to that logic, single person in every single person in a relationship is special. If so many people in this world were special, the word special would have no meaning. There are not special. You are making them that because you have had limited experience in life. It's fucking assumptions you are making. There are billions of people. He or, he or she is not the only one, but the person you most definitely need to find first is yourself. The only then you start to make sense of it. Here are some reasons. You will never find a person who would love you again. You think you are not worthy, therefore you are unlucky to have them. This is a person who have convinced themselves that they are less. This insecurity might be one of the reasons you fear they will leave you for some more deserving. At the same time, it may also be why you love them, because they believe nobody else will want you. You do understand this is fear talking, but you have shared an apartment with this fear for such a long time that you genuinely believe that now. Because of this fear, you have built a tolerance for their shit. In any cases, the answer cannot be only this person. You have no data to support that. Only your damn fear is telling you that this is a hugely bad assessment. You have put so many years and so much effort into this, you can't go back out, or else you would look like an idiot. So your self-image is more important than peacefulness in your life. Great. Then if anything, it should be an even bigger reason to get out. You have spent a huge part of your life talking this shit. At least the reminder of it should be live on your terms. You said that you are prepared to end this any second and you don't give a fuck anymore. But it keeps going on. This is a person holding on a hope called they will change. You are watching the same movie every day, hoping that the ending will change. This time, you secretly hope that they will change and reform with your tolerance and dedicated love. What happens is once in a while they are nice to you. You translate this action as indication that they care about you and tell yourself this is how they really are. This, of course, is bullshit. When the bad experience returns, you aren't solved because it's the same movie all over again. The truth is, you aren't prepared to end this. What you have prepared yourself to do is to keep talking shit from them, keep taking shit from them, and once you have normalized it, why would you want to escape from it? It's a routine to you now. You believe they are who you think they are. It's only just takes the cake. So hear this out. The idea is that you are the only person who truly knows them. Again, you believe you know them like nobody else does. You created this idea because you have had intimate moments with them in which you saw them in their emotional highs and lows. Well, this of course is an assumption that you are the only person who has seen them in an emotional state. But you want to believe that because you get a sense of personal connection with them as if you were their family, and they probably say this shit to you too, which enforce this idea, and because of this you cannot leave them despite how horrid their behavior may become, because in your mind that would be like abandoning your family. You think that they don't have anybody like you in their life. You are their protector, caregiver, mother, and they are sup- supposedly orphan and damsel in distress. They need you because you are the only one who knows what's good for them. Therefore, you are harming themselves by pushing you away. This is a this is talking the last idea and climbing the mountain of crazy. This is the farthest from the truth and your bullshit justification. Here is what you need to hear. If they left you, then you didn't need you. If they left you, then they didn't need you in the first place. If they didn't leave you but didn't do much to keep you either, then they are in a relationship for selfish reason only. If they didn't leave but have lied to you, cheated on you, and then they never valued you like you thought they did, by no stretch of imagination, you are the only person who truly knows them, is likely their family. If you were, they would have shown you. By no stretch of imagination, you are the only person who truly knows them and is like their family. If you were, If you were, they would have shown you that in action, not words. Are you trying to fix somebody's life? They only have me. He or she is broken person and I am fixing them. Is your life completely fixed? Are they in their twenties or ever? Can they read? Do they have internet? If yes, then they can be fixed themselves if they want to. Nobody can fix someone who doesn't want to fix himself or herself. Why don't you fix your own fucking life? There is a plenty of help out there, books, videos, therapies, and civil peoples. If they need it, stop pitying people. You have a fantasy that if you fix someone, they will love you back. So you look for broken people. Well, here is the truth. They are not the only ones. Everybody is. Everybody above the age of 25 is carrying some serious scars, including you. Mind your own fucking business, and here is the news for you. They are not weak either. That's why they are fucking you in a relationship. They are the one getting hurt. Trust me when I say that the logic that if you fix somebody, then they will love you doesn't work. People don't work that way. They have their own minds. People are gonna do what they wanna do. If you want to know who somebody is focused on what they do every day, what actually fascinates them, and how they behave around people, that will show you in which direction they want to go. The sooner you gather the strength to accept the truth, the better it will be for your future. Stop with this selfish charity. If you have so much time and energy, put in your life and find a stable person who wants stability in relationship too. All right, this was for the day. I will see you in the next video. Till then, keep going. I am rooting for you.